Mitakiyasan. Namaste. Sarve mere rishdal. So, Osio, all my relatives. I gotta keep the camera this way. Scoot myself over here a little bit. Not sure where I'm going with this. I've just, it's been kind of an interesting day. Today's the first day into the new year, so to speak, the Mayan calendar or the Egyptian calendar. The day of no time was yesterday. What a magical day. Oh, it really was very magical, at least for me. It definitely was for me. And today has been, well, different. The same, however, very different. So, yesterday, we had this amazing ceremony, amazing, beautiful fire ceremony. Was down at the river, watching the otter, and it's just very magical. No, wait. Oh, that was this morning. Wow, see, time is, I don't know, I feel like I'm in time, but I'm not in time. And that has been going on kind of off and on for me for a little while now, probably about a couple of months now. And there was this one moment where I was walking Rashini and the streets were empty. There was one truck that was parked on the street, along the same sidewalk as Rashini and I. And this purple balloon was kind of just bouncing, floating, just passed us by, past the truck, and went on down the road. Well, we passed the truck, and of course when it was passing, I heard, "Take a picture." And I'm like, it's a balloon, I'm not gonna take a picture. I'm gonna take a picture of a purple balloon. We got past the truck and I looked down the road. It was a totally empty road. Nice long road. No cars parked on the road, nothing like that. There was no balloon. No balloon. And I remember doing a double take. And I remember hearing that voice. I should have taken a picture of it. And I'm like, this is interesting. I had another time in the shower. I was in the shower, I was listening to my music, and the music stopped. And there were voices. And the voices sounded like they were right there in the room. And I'm going, hello? Where's my music? Where's my music, right? And it felt real kind of creepy. And now the balloon thing didn't feel creepy, but this felt kind of creepy. And so I stuck my head up underneath the water and came back out, and my music was back on. I was like, whoa. It happened like 2 or 3 more times while I was in the shower. And I was almost afraid to get out of the shower. I was like, I don't know about this. Is there somebody in my apartment? But everything was fine. Now, then I had this beautiful, I shared the video, this beautiful moment with this hummingbird. And I've spoken to animals before, but this one was different. Although I remember speaking with, that was the first real time I heard someone's voice coming through the animal. And that was the praying mantis with Tony, 2 cats, and the cottonwood tree in Oklahoma. However, this was like, I had this beautiful healing time with my mother. An incredible aha and a day of just really processing all of the emotion. And it wasn't that day, it was the next day, I believe. I had this conversation with the hummingbird where it was clearly my biological mom. I could feel her. Only she was different, like a healed biological mom, like 2 souls communicating with each other versus mother and daughter, really. It was interesting. And then my dad, I felt my dad come through in a couple of other relationships that, but it was her voice. It was like she was sharing. I could feel them, but she was sharing healing or understanding or this like unifying presence. It's really difficult to put into words. It's more of a feeling. It's it's incredible. Anyway, so today, actually, it's really interesting. Okay, let me give you a little bit of background. My biological family, all of our birthdays are either in January or July. And so twice a year we celebrated birthdays. For me, it always felt like Christmas in July because I got to give gifts and receive gifts, and there was always the celebration around 4th of July with the fireworks. Well, that was back when I really enjoyed fireworks. I love the colors. I just don't like the sound. And I don't like, and the smell. And I think that comes from military and some other things. However, so then it got to where, I just didn't bother celebrating birthdays. Because it's like, I don't know, it just kind of felt odd. And I go to India, and birthdays are different on that side, in that culture. And that at birthdays, you give gifts. There's no reason for you to be born if there wasn't a reason or someone praying you in for your gifts to be given to the world. So you give gifts on your birthday. Well, then you come back to the United States and it's like Christmas all over again, even though I don't have biological family. I give gifts. Well, now I have family, soul family. And so, yeah, sometimes I receive gifts, but I love to give gifts on my birthday. So then I get Rashini. Rashini comes into my life, my little service dog, my companion animal, my Daemon, Daemon, Daemon. And his birthday is in July. Well, he's a rescue dog. So he came from, well, he's a rescue. He was rescued off out of the desert, actually, by one of the American Legion riders, and trained by an 8-year-old little girl. Oh my God, he's priceless. So when you have a rescue like that, they don't have a specific date. So it's like, it's my birthday month. So we just celebrate the entire month. And that also came from another companion I had the absolute pleasure to spend a couple years with. It was interesting. It was very beautiful, very unconditional relationship. And when I came out of the shelter, I was treated like a queen for a month. And things kind of changed, but that month I was treated like a queen, and things began dissipating, and yeah, the other shit begins coming out, and you can only put a mask on for so long. Anyway, so now I celebrate the entire month with Rashini, and it has been an incredible month. Challenging. We've all had our challenges, and yet very, very healing. Very, very healing. So I guess what I really feel in my chest right now is I really feel, I'm sure there's some more emotion that's going to come through. I'm feeling it beginning to pressurize in my chest. And what I'm beginning to feel with this pressurizing in my chest now, after having processed a lot of emotion, even some anger came through. It's this hearing these voices, like this TV and these different voices, something new that this neighbor has started these past few nights. It's stirring up this emotion around hearing voices. because I've quieted the voices. I've noticed the voices in my head are very, very quiet. And when I do hear a voice, it's my voice, yet it's when I'm hearing other, like when I was hearing my mom, that was me yet not me, is about the only way I can explain it. So I'm very, there's a lot of clarity now with the voices in or the voice within me and me. So hearing voices now is on the outside and coming through, whether she's talking really loud on the phone or this is like a TV or something going on over there. I'm pretty sure it's a TV. But there are all these different voices and so forth. And it's like the voices came from here and now they're out here. If that makes any sense. And so it's kind of disturbing, especially at night. So I'm back to wearing earbuds. I was trying to work through it, but I've got to get some sleep. And so I've noticed my time changing has really shifted. And so I'm sleeping like 4 hours at night. If I get a full 4 hours at night, and then I'm sleeping in the afternoon. And being a lot more lazy, that afternoon siesta, which falls right in with the heat of the day, and Rashini doesn't want to do anything, and so it works out pretty good. Going with the flow. It was something that my mom and we prayed about, and was like, that seems to be the thing right now, is flowing with the change, being good with the change, just allowing it to be, and just taking it with curiosity. Like, let's see how Spirit's going to work this. Let's see how this is going to play out. So, yeah, that didn't work for a couple nights as far as, and I noticed how it stirred up anger in me. And I even acted upon the anger a couple times with a pillow and hitting the brick wall. And I know she can't hear it. She don't give a shit. And did it make me feel better? No, it made me feel worse. I even sprained my wrist a little bit, which was an injury. Oh, and I connected that. Was an injury in childhood. And I remember I remember I got so much attention. See, I was the peacemaker. I was the good one. My sister needed all the attention because she had a lot of medical issues. And my brother got all the attention because he was the beloved little boy that I was supposed to be. I think I remember sharing that story. And so I was the good one. And I was the peacemaker. And so when I broke my arm, oh my gosh, all the attention I received. Well, I remember later, it was like a year or two, I had to learn how to write with my right hand. It was during the 3rd grade. We were learning to write, and I was a lefty. Well, that's how I became ambidextrous. So I learned to do everything with my right hand. And of course, that was special, right? And with the broken arm. And so later, things go back to normal kind of thing. Everything's all healed up. And I remember getting so angry about wanting my voice to be heard that I took my arm and I slammed my wrist, trying to re-break my wrist against the bathroom shower, the bathroom door, in the girls' bathroom. And they called it a sprain. I never did actually break it. It hurt too much, but I did sprain it. And so that's that same spot. And I'm like, wow, interesting. Very interesting. Well, now I'm okay. I'm like, I've gotten so good at being incognito, where yes, I share. Yes, I guess I bring a presence. That's what I've been told. But I really love how, like, there's this, I just kind of fly through offering prayers and ceremony and so forth. Planting crystals. There's a grandmother that calls me She Who Plants Crystals. And weaving what I weave and putting the vibes out, the silent one. Yeah, that's what I do, and I'm good with that. And then I watch how it manifests. And it's like, ooh, and I didn't have to do any of that work. And I notice when that has gotten picked up and the ego steps in, and that, she's not doing anything special because she hasn't written a book, she hasn't done this, she hasn't done that, she doesn't do this, she doesn't do that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, that's ego. That's ego. It's what do you do? It's who are you? And who are you without the likes, without the accolades, without the attention, without all of that? Yes, there's this, that spirit, nature only gets loud when she has to. And she really doesn't have to if we keep the balance. When the balance is kept. And you go with the flow. everything happens in perfect divine time. Everything that is needed is right where it's needed, how it's needed, where it's needed, and you use it and let it go. You know? The squirrels may hoard nuts, but they plant them and put them in different places, and sometimes they forget about them, or sometimes they sprout and become trees. You know, they don't. Yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of gone off to wow. I went off on a tangent, so I'm just pouring out what's coming through my heart. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And now I'm feeling the push, the nudge, the pull, like many of us, to begin sharing our voices, sharing our stories, because there's others out there that maybe need to hear our stories, or we need to hear their stories. I just got done listening to a very, very powerful story. Very powerful, very vulnerable story of a tarot reader who I just fell in love with. There's no ego there. Oh, he's just so gorgeous, so beautiful. So beautiful. I have found a couple of them like that. And apparently he has a separate channel, and he's like, I'm putting this out here for me. I've just got to share this. And I'm sharing it because I don't know why, because maybe somebody else needs to share it, but I'm doing it for me. And he just poured his heart out. There's many of us who have been walking this path that, we're being taken to a whole different level. All this stuff that we thought we worked through come pouring out and aching through in a whole different way, a whole different level, a whole new vulnerability. You know what, though? It feels fucking good. It feels authentic. It feels raw. It feels natural. It feels holy. It feels sacred. It's like I want to cry, but I want to laugh, and I want to scream. And I want to smile. I want to say thank you. And I am so grateful. So grateful for listening to my intuition and following my heart and getting the opportunity to see all these amazing, beautiful places in this world before they split apart and blow up and become something completely different. And yet, there's just that sadness with it, and yet at the same time, I'm like, bring it on, Mother Nature. Bring it on. Like there's this waiting for it to happen. And this is this part of me that is like, I almost feel evil because I'm like, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Come on, just do it. Just do it. Like, is it, I find myself going to the couple of very interested YouTubers that I've been watching about the different fault lines and the Ring of Fire and Camp Flagree, and I'm like, has it happened yet? What is that? Okay, waiting for them to put out the video. Okay, is it happening yet? Is it happening yet? Isn't that wild and evil?